Hello everyone and welcome to my new YouTube channel. My name is Order513 and I'm starting a new channel just to review some Transformers, things that I collect, things that I enjoy. Hope you enjoy. So this is the Masterpiece movie line, MPM-7 Bumblebee or B. It's the Bumblebee movie version of Bumblebee. He's pretty nice, he rolls really well. He's a Volkswagen Beetle. I've got his weapon stored on the back here, but they can detach. They just plug in. There's two little ports there, two little pegs that are kind of his exhaust pipes. Just plug it in the back. The paintwork is pretty good. You can see my review station isn't flat. The paintwork is good. I don't really enjoy this. As you can see, this is all painted. Except for this line here. I believe this is yellow plastic, but I'm not sure. You can see this nice fade going through here. Meant to be like sort of rusty. Same for here and at the front there. But for this part here, they've just kind of painted that part and not bothered with the upper part. It's not ideal, but still pretty good. I'm sure if you're an avid customizer, you could get in there with a little bit of sort of rust, or even strip this paint and do it all yourself. The rims are painted, not rubber wheels, just plastic. The rims are painted really nice, have the little Volkswagen symbol on there. Little Volkswagen symbol on the top there as well. So yeah, he's pretty nice. He's really light for a Masterpiece line. There is a little bit of die cast in him, but not loads. I think, well, I'll be able to show you more when we get a robot mode, but there's a few parts under here which are to get down to transformation. I won't be following the instructions, I'll just be doing it sort of the easiest way I've found. So to start it off, what I would do is lift this roof section up, just sort of bring it over out of the way. This back section, then pop it out after you've untabbed this section. Just bring it back like so. This wing section, then just fold it outwards to get it out of the way there. You can then, there's little sections on the side here. These just pop off like so. Same on this side. Just sort of bring the arms up and again out of the way. Then come down to the legs, split them apart. We'll futz with the legs a little bit in a while, but for now just leave them and do the upper body section. Bring this hood section out. Alleviate these smaller sections and just bring them sort of down out of the way as well. One issue is this part here comes off really easily. It does just tab back on, but it is a bit of a pain sometimes. So basically you've just got a big mess of parts, but it does all come together. This chest section comes out. You fold the head upwards. Sorry, that's off camera. So this chest section comes out, fold the head upwards, fold it down, and sort of just on the double hinge there, just flatten it down like that. There's no audible click, but it will friction into place quite nicely. You then take these wheel sections, if they haven't come untabbed already, they will. Just fold up like that, bring this down. This section then rotates. You can see the entire sort of missile pod section rotates like so. Brings back out the way. These two arms, you can see here, they will just untab from each other. Bring it out, rotate it at this die cast metal section outwards towards the front of the body, and then rotate it upwards, and then tab it on to the same tab that this hole here tabbed into. So bring it out, peg it in like so. Same on this side. Bring it out. Bring it. Oh, actually, yeah, make sure that missile pod section's up and that's back. Bring it up, out to the front like so. Rotate around. Clip back in like this. Bring the arms down towards the side. It's starting to get a bit taller, so I'll bring my camera up slightly. Fold the arms just flat down, make sure everything's tabbed in like so. These arms, then there's a panel here. Rotate this 180 degrees around and fold it around to the back of his arm, like so. His hands, then just sort of bring them out to the side. You can see his head there. I'll get down to the details in a more. Same on this side, bring it around, rotate 180, so it kind of gives that spiked on the back. Bring the arm flat. This section, these on here, you rotate this little sort of rogue cage, or whatever you'd call a bumper section out, and then stretch it as far out as it'll go. This little peg will sort of rest in that slot, like so. And just bring it down, same on this side, down and down. Now for the legs, we'll get to this backpack shortly after we've sorted the legs out. So bring it around to the back so you can see things better. This foot section rotates flat like so. Just bring it out all the way, or actually rotate this so it's more out of the way if it's not already. Then just bring it all the way down. This wheel section will then rotate in to the thigh, not the thigh, the calf, I guess it would be. Flatten this part up against that wheel. And then what I found is, so this, there's a peg here, well, a slot there has to go into this peg here. And all of this will sort of fill in the gap. So if you rotate it down like so and just slot it in and then sort of push everything into place, it locks in quite nicely. There's a few lines on here that you'd want to follow. So there's a few like shape lines on that black piece. So as long as you follow them, you'll have it down pretty well. You also want this section here to match up with that section there. You then fold this section in like so, filling in that ankle sort of area. This heel spur then flips out. This die cast part flips outwards like so. You might need to get your nail in there. Fold it flat like so. Oh, well, this section folds down first and then fold it flat in, and then peg this into here. Fold this die cast section down, and that's it for the leg. This side is exactly the same as the other side, obviously just mirrored. So get this out of the way. Fold that out, fold this down, fold this out, fold that in, fold this section up, flat on there, wrap around the wheel. Plug it in, fold it down, fold that in like so. Then again, fold the heel spur out, fold this die cast ankle section out, fold this little detail down, flatten it in, flatten it like so. This section, fold it down. This section, unhinge it from this door, bring it down to be the sort of vestigial wing, I guess. That down. These sections, fold them up. Rotate them in like so, just as flat as possible, like this. What you then want to do is get this back section, fold this up against that. This will then fold down and in. But first you fold this, so just basically sort of collapsing all of this in as far as it'll go. This will then come down. Then what you want to do is, well, before you do that, fold this section of the bumper sort of in these side parts, but not all the way in just yet. You want to leave a bit of room, and I'll show you why in a second. So then there's a little tiny wing, you can't really see because of my lights, there we go, peg there, and there's a little slot on the back, like just there. So fold it in and sort of try and get it in around the right position, and then you'll hear a click. You might not because it doesn't actually click, but you should do. Then once that is in, you can then fold this bumper section as flush as you can get. The reason you don't do it is because if you fold it all the way in, it won't sit flat on his back, or as flat as it can be. These wings you can then sort of situate however you want. I prefer to fold it up, accordion it in like that, just to sort of, so basically I get this wheel well to cover this grey section. I just think it cleans it up a little bit nicer. These wheels, you can then do what you want. You can either fold them back. I personally prefer to angle them up and then back. and then back like so, and it gives them a sort of actual insect bee-esque look. And that's him there. I'll bring the camera down a little bit. So there he is, movie masterpiece Bumblebee, or Bee rather, the 2018 Bumblebee movie version. He's really nice. He's really sweet. I really enjoy him. I'll fold that down. His style is really good. I think apart from the wings, if you remove those out of the picture, his likeness to the movie is actually really well done. The sculpting's fantastic. Maybe this would be more outwards and rounded. But I feel like with the toy, it takes in the old 07 movie and onwards design and sort of takes inspiration from that in the toy more than the movie version did. Obviously the movie version's a bit more round, sort of chubby, cute, as opposed to this guy. But yeah, I really like his design. He's very expressive in his movements, like his head. Obviously you can tilt it, give him that sort of cutie sort of look. So yeah, we'll first get down to the articulation, and then we'll get down to the extra features here for these. So articulation, we've got a ball joint on the head. It's a bit limited. It can sort of rock side to side and not so much back and forth, a little bit up and a little bit down. There's nothing you can really do about that because of this panel doesn't move any more than it does already, but it does go side to side. These arms, this can rotate to get out of the way for movement. You can bring it all the way up to around, well, just a bit further than a T-pose. You do have to be careful of this joint because this arm joint is actually more tight than the transformation joint. Full 360 on the rotation. Elbows just over 90 degrees. Obviously rotation at the, well, it's not the bicep, it's just above the elbow actually. These hands, they can come in quite a bit, out, they do have a full 360 rotation. His fingers are individually movable. So he has 3 fingers, all of which have a joint at the knuckle, but this one has a little, the index finger has an extra joint for like pointing. This thumb can rotate at this joint, a little bit of up and down, but there's no sort of, you can't really get him in a thumbs up pose, so to speak. It has that joint, that extra joint, you can kind of give him that sort of look, but it doesn't really do what you'd like it to do. I guess you could bring it in like that. That looks okay, I guess. Again, the thighs sort of rotate that much. It's nothing to write home about per se, but they do go out and rotate full 360 and go out. Pretty much a full split, might even be a bit more than that. Has a waist swiveled as well, not 360, but you do get a decent, well actually yeah, it is 360, but you do get a decent bit of posability out of that. Knee joint, it's got a double bend at the knee. You can't really take advantage of both at once, it's either one or the other. This one's a bit tighter and it does sort of ruin the sculpt a little bit as well. You can actually give them sort of chicken legs, beer movie chicken legs if you really want, even though Bumblebee never had them. Ankle is really good, as long as that part doesn't come unpegged. So this whole section, if this isn't pegged in, it will rotate at this section, but that is quite a loose joint. But if that's pegged in and everything's lined up properly, it should rotate quite a lot of the way in, a little bit out. And he also has a toe, which can go all the way up there. If you push it past this grey piece, that's the resting position, that's the further up position. And then ankle support, and that is, apart from the wings obviously, which you can pose in any position you wish, that is it for the posability. It's very good actually, good bit of posability. You can get them in a range of dynamic poses if you so choose, and even more so with the weapons, which I'll show you now actually. So this is the little weapon pack. In the instructions it does say to plug this mask, this battle mask, onto that black peg there, with that small slot there. So if you plug that in, it'll stay for not very long. You couldn't really put it on the back because any little portion it's going to fall off. So what I like to do is this post here is a little bit wider. It's not meant, that's just meant for design. It's not actually meant to hold anything, but you can plug that in and it's very tight and it won't go anywhere. Same for the top of the head, which replaces the battle mask, which I'll show you when I get down to it, but the top of the head can actually plug into this section as well. So this all splits apart like so, and you've got a sort of buster gun, like a blaster. I think the instructions or somewhere I read it was called like a stinger sword. It's quite nice. It has, I do believe that's Cybertronian symbols on there, or at least an attempt at them. Unsure what they say. The first few symbols look the same on both though. Who knows, but it is very, very nice molded detail on there. I'll get a close look at this head sculpt as well. The gun, again, really nice. Nice paint. Does actually look like his fingers, that. I've never noticed that before. But yeah, it makes it look more like the gun's actually transformed into the hand. It's really nice. It looks like the 3 fingers on the top and the thumb underneath. That's actually really cool. Nice sculpt at the front and the sides, yep. And then the battle mask here. Very nice. It is actually see-through those eyes, so his eyes are technically underneath the mask, which I'll show off. Yeah, very nice. Nice moulding, nice detail, nice shape. Close look at that head sculpt. You can see he's got his nice blue eyes, which I do believe are light piped. They might not be. No, actually I don't think they are. But yeah, it's very nice. Nice detail. This black on the top of mine, it looks like it's come away under this light, but never noticed that before. Nice little Autobot symbol on the top there. So to switch his head, what you want to do is this section that's lined with grey, this pops open, pops up like so, just flips back. You then remove this entire section, so the sort of eyebrow piece. This battle mask then just drops down in its place, and then it does peg in, but if you bring this down, sort of flatten it, it does like that. And like I say, with the eyes behind, it's a really nice detail. I wish it was light piped though, that would make it a whole lot better. So yeah, and his gun, basically what you want to do is open his hand like so, but not all the way, sort of like a curled sort of a gesture. Bring the thumb sort of there. This, you can see this gap here in front of the peg. His fingers slot into this, and as long as you've got everything situated, should go on pretty smoothly. Yeah, so this rotational joint slot into there. This thumb then goes down into this gap that it makes, and it folds back and tabs in to the little slot just above, just in front of his wrist there, you can see. So once this is all slotted in like so, you then have the gun. Yeah, you can sort of pause it a little bit with the wrist. Not so much rotation, but a little bit of backwards and forwards. This sword can then go either on the same arm or on the opposite arm. There's a big slot on the back, a big peg on the back and a big slot there. You then just fold it over like so, plug it in. This section here actually does, when it goes like flush, it does actually follow the sculpt of that, which is really nice. And it has that section as well, which kind of makes this look more like it's meant to be there rather than just kibble. But like I said, this top section can plug in. You can either leave it at the side, you can plug it in the back, which I'll show off in a sec, or you can plug it on the arm, which doesn't ruin the sculpt that much actually. I feel like it does look like it could fit in there and be part of the transformed arm. But yeah, all of these, once they're in, if they're in their little encased pack sort of position, and I'll take the gun off and show you. There's a small peg on the back here, on there, in the black there, which is actually used. So this part plugs into it, just like so. And if you've got the whole packet and all fit in there together, it's a bit unsightly, but I guess the entire wing pack is anyway, so it's not too bad for a bit of storage. But yeah, that is the review. I actually really enjoy him. I really enjoy this figure. In the Bumblebee movie, I started to really enjoy the character. Before that, I didn't so much, but I do now. I'll get him in a bit of a thumbnail pose for you guys. There you go. Yeah, he's a good figure, good sculpting. Yeah, he's decent. I enjoy him. He could do with some work, like the painting I mentioned before, or the obviously the backpack section is very big. Didn't have it in the film, but when looking at it as inspired by the old Bumblebees, it sort of fits, I guess. Fits in with a lot of other Bumblebee figures, doesn't look too out of place with them. But yeah, thank you for watching. Because I've just started, I am going to plug myself and ask you to like, comment and subscribe. Likes are good, subscribing is amazing. I'm going to try and post one video a day, at least for the time being. And comments are good for the YouTube algorithm to get me a little bit more traction and give me something to do with my life. Please validate me, thank you. And I'm going to leave you the question of the day to answer in the comments. My question today is, out of the Bayverse movies only, who do you think has the coolest transformation sequence? Answer down in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.